Hello.
Greetings.
Nice attempts. Yo, at Nin is a guest. Let's go.
I don't know who the fuck Nin is. I was supposed to type nonce.
Damn, they have no roles apparently.
Probably a Spanish person. Just
Perhaps,
keep on
perhaps.
ignoring them.
So, you alright?
Um, Truth be told, I don't actually know.
No.
I feel there is a non-zero chance that I have COVID at the moment.
Ah, I'm sorry to hear.
It's one of those. It's like it was around Wednesday. I had a fucking sore throat, and everyone at work's kind of acknowledged the fact that it's not a matter of if we get COVID at this point; it's a matter of when,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's spreading through the ranks. Everyone's doing their bit, but it's an inevitability, and they've kind of got the procedure that if you have reason to believe that you have COVID, and usually this comes around because someone else in like your household is tested positive.
Yeah.
The issue with that rationale is I am the most likely person in the house to get COVID, like first,
Do none of
because
them work?
of the four of us here,
Yeah.
including myself, two of us have jobs,
Right.
and the other person's job is has a very insular community. Like
Okay.
there's not really a chance of them like running into some fucking rando that's gonna cough in their general direction,
Hmm.
which leaves me.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was around Wednesday. I had like a bit of a sore throat, so I got my test, but the test came back negative. And
Okay.
but obviously the symptoms have still persisted. I took Friday off because I've got a valid reason I didn't want to go to fucking work.
Yeah.
Woke up like 10 minutes before my shift was supposed to start. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go, and text
I
my
mean,
text my boss, went back to sleep.
yeah. I mean, like I had a situation where I was nearly denied getting a test because I had enough symptoms that it was like guaranteed. Um, it's really retarded for the test sites at my university because if you don't have symptoms, they'll let you take the test. If you have maybe one symptom, it's under discretion. If you have more than one, then they don't let you take the test because you're a high risk of COVID, in which you need to take the test. But they won't let you take it there because you can infect other people. So,
It's yeah,
um,
it's been interesting watching how, especially in New Zealand, because obviously it's where I'm getting a front row seat. Just how like how people are adapting to the situation, or at least how
mhm.
like processes are adapted. Because I remember, because I had the flu during the first year of this pandemic, which terrifying to say for starters that it's the first year of the pandemic. Um,
You're on year three now, baby.
Fucking hell, yeah. Actually, yeah, and in like a couple of weeks, we're going to be around the time that New Zealand shut its borders.
2 years ago.
Like the anniversary, yeah.
Fuck.
Um,
Sorry, excuse me.
Charming. Fuck, where was I going with that? But yeah, I had the flu, like the proper flu during the first year of the pandemic, and it's one of the they were basically just giving tests away.
Yeah.
You know, like oh we haven't had it, like oh I've got the flu, I don't have a GP, and I needed to basically just get a weight off, so I said fuck it, let's just go get a COVID test. You know, oh so we haven't had a case in the country for 6 weeks. You don't have a sore throat, you're not coughing, you just have flu-like symptoms. You've been nowhere near anyone who has left the country in the past 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, just go get a test. And would you believe it? The test came back negative. It's just the flu. But and then hang on. There was another situation much further down the line, like we're talking like maybe a few months back. Just in stark contrast to how things went is his I think it was his grandmother died from complications due to COVID. And he and like his mother were going like up to Auckland, which at the time was basically just this whole like Delta hot zone. And yeah, everyone's freaking the fuck out. The entire city was on lockdown for like 100 days, with like no in or out. With the exception of fucking KFC smugglers.
Wait, what?
Oh, there was a case where a bunch of gang members were caught like trying to run the blockade from Hamilton to Auckland with like $1,000 worth of KFC in the boot of their car.
Oh fuck! Fucking Han Solo out there.
Oh, I did the State Highway 1 in under 1 parsec.
Oh.
But yeah, but so he'd gone up there and is like obviously being in close contact with COVID. Like obviously his grandmother had COVID, and while I don't think he saw her directly, he was talking with literally everyone who was in and out, in and out, in and out of that hospital room. And then he came back to Palmy. He's like, "Yeah, I've just been to this hot zone. Can I get a test?" And they're like, "No, like you don't have any symptoms. Just fuck off."
So you've went from getting ones easy 2 years ago when there was virtually no chance to virtually impossible without paying.
Oh no, virtually impossible without like dumb as fuck reasoning. Like I, if I was, I think the mistake there that he tried doing it as a walk, and like I'm pretty sure if he'd called like the healthline number, told them what's happened, they would literally just organize a test, and he could go back to the exact same place, and they'd like give it to him. But it's just strange, and now we're at this point where Omicron's fucking ravaging. It's just ravaging the country, I say, as we probably only have like 25,000 cases. Where are we at? Yeah, we're at something like 22,000. 21,000. Hang on. Current situation. New cases reported during the past 24 hours, 21,000. 100 cases at the border, 20,000 in the community. I can't read this properly right now. Point is, a lot of COVID in the country at the moment, to the point where everyone's kind of just given up trying to keep track.
I'm sorry. I just don't really. I'll be honest. I've tuned straight out of like all this Omicron shit. So I've got no idea. Like I've got no sense of scale of what numbers are big or what's not.
It also comes into context of the country itself, but there is a lot of COVID in New Zealand now after 2 years of futility. I don't want to be too cynical about it, but it's almost like the Prime Minister is approaching the point of term limits. To the point where they don't have to care about their reputation.
Wait, does New Zealand have term limits?
Pretty sure we do.
Uh,
Yeah.
I want to shut up because it's. They say in the Commonwealth system, normally prime ministers don't have term limits. Because it's not an office one is elected to directly. Does New Zealand have term limits?
As the Constitution Act in 1986 requires general elections every 3 years, this is the maximum period of time that a Prime Minister can serve without their mandate being renewed. That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, so that just means they have to have an election every 3 years.
Oh, well, we do that.
Yeah, in the UK it's 5 years, but yeah, because the Prime Minister is just like the head of the ruling party, rather than like an appointed person in like a presidential system. Like, yeah, it's kind of hard to impose like a term limit on that because they don't have as much executive power. Sorry, totally unrelated. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Crazy. I don't know. It's crazy that the presidential that the election cycle was 3 years though. I was always under the impression it was 4, but it's not.
Yeah, 3 years seems oddly. I was gonna say seems odd. Like, I guess not really. They're all arbitrary dates, but arbitrary times, but something just doesn't seem right with 3 years.
It's not like a nice evenish number.
Yeah. 5 goes into 10. 4 is just a nice multiple of 2. Goes into lots of numbers.
Yeah, I guess it goes to the common factor of 3 with like 12. 12's a nice number.
Yeah. 12's a good number. I like 12. Like
Hello,
8.
welcome to Sad Baron Guy, where we talk about our favorite numbers.
8's a good number.
Oh,
Alright. Let's get off this like Alan Partridge topic. What's your favorite number? Comment below.
yeah. At me on Discord with your favorite numbers. Where was I going? But yeah, like COVID's going around. We've given up on like proper testing pretty much, and it's all about the fucking the rat. Being an acronym for rapid antigen test. I think you guys call them LFDs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking hate LFDs. My god.
Wait, I feel which one is it? Is it the LFT or the PCR that's the quick one?
The LFD's the quick one. It's
Yeah.
the one up the nose and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what the rat is. That's what I had on Wednesday.
Oh, I hate the feeling it gives in the nose.
Oh wait, no, is your one like a all the way in one?
It's like you swab your mouth and then you put it up the nose.
Oh no. So well, what our ones are is basically just put it halfway up the nose, so it's not like the reaching for fucking grey matter tests.
Yeah. Okay.
You just stick it up there, swab like both nostrils a bit, and then do the pregnancy test thing.
Yeah, no, like ours is the same, except we're towards to put swab for grey matter. Yeah.
Not that I necessarily minded the grey matter picking ones. It's actually quite. I actually quite enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah, but you're just fucked up. So
yeah, literally me. But yeah, it's so lots of COVID, and that's a bad thing. But yeah, I don't know. But so there's a small chance I have COVID. I probably don't, and it's just a cold.
Not wishing you the best, of
Yeah.
course.
I'm sure drinking coffee is doing my throat wonders. And how's your time been?
um, well, today's been hectic since my Japan application, my direct university application was due today, and of course I waited until today to do it. So that's what I was doing. Beyond that, the only other thing I've had on my mind is figuring out a way to talk about Elden Ring without talking about Elden Ring, so I don't say anything that actually matters to you. But I can
Oh,
say it in a way that people watching can understand.
oh,
Uh,
my idea is to just say fuck Elden Ring.
based, based. Um, I've thought
Also,
about
fuck Elden Ring's fans buying people Elden Ring that aren't me.
yes, obligatory. I have to bow fully to Maurice, my video game patrician. Um, he's got me a few things just because he likes watching a casual gamer like me play not casual games. But still, Elden Ring is
Are you
a big
having
shout.
are you having fun?
Um, I've had to stop playing.
You're
Uh,
not. Okay, so you're.
no. That's not what I said. Right. So, like for real. Don't worry. I'm not going to say anything to do with
Yeah, I'm not really looking
specific.
at this from the perspective of Elden Ring. I'm looking at this as the like your introduction to Soulsborne.
Well, yeah. So I've played two other Souls games. I've played Dark Souls 1 and I've played Sekiro. Dark Souls 1, I got up to the castle thing and I couldn't get past the
Can,
skeletons.
can you be more specific than castle thing? Because there's like
Like
5 different.
like the third bonfire. Like, you know, you maybe not even a castle, maybe it's like a town or something. There's like archer skeletons and um whatever, it doesn't matter.
Had you run past a dragon?
Maybe I don't know. It's been a long time.
All right.
All I know is I never got to a boss apart from like the tutorial boss.
Okay, so
Um,
yeah, so you never met the Taurus demon.
no, no.
All right.
So I that was as far as I got. I didn't get it. I didn't like it.
I'll,
Sekiro.
I'll say to be fair, I that was also my first encounter with Dark Souls. I got to about that point, quit, and then tried again like 6 months later. Got further than that, quit, and then the third time is when I actually finished the game.
Mm,
But
took you a
go
few
on.
tries. Yeah. Sekiro. I got to the ogre, which isn't even a boss. It's like a just like a mini boss, just a strong enemy,
Yeah,
and I couldn't.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
which one you're talking about.
yeah, I couldn't beat him. Um, so yeah, so Elden Ring is the first one I had where I actually beat bosses. Um,
The man saw a name with a health bar.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah. I'll don't worry. I'll make this very clear in like abstract terms. So I went around. I potted around a bit. I was streaming because when Maurice gets me a game, it's because he wants to see me play. So I always own a stream of it. So I streamed it. I beat literally the easiest boss in the game, like the first, yeah, really easy boss. It took me like 5 tries. At the start, it was taking me 100% my brain power just to fight the equivalent of the skeletons in Dark Souls 1, like really having to focus. I got to another place. I lost a bunch of souls and I quit. But I came back the next day, and yeah, I kind of found the loop. You know, if there was something really hard, because Elden Ring is open world, I can just go a different direction. I and yeah, like the loop started getting into my head of okay, I go into a cavern. It takes me a few tries to get through this cavern. I eventually get to the boss. The boss stomps me hard the first time, and then the next time he stomps me, but I survive a bit longer. And then the next time I actually do a bit of damage, but I still get stomped. And then the fourth time I get him to like half or maybe a bit more. And then the fifth time I beat him, and I'm getting better. And the feeling when you kill that boss is fucking amazing. It's great. And I'm riding this wave high. I'm like, fuck yes. Fuck yes. I finally get it. I get Souls games. Oh my god. I can revisit them all. I'm fucking pro. I'm gonna beat this game. And then I reached the first actual boss of the game. And I got my shit pushed in so fucking hard. And then I lost a bunch of souls the next time. I was like, okay, no. I just used the lessons I've learned. You know, don't panic roll. You know, yes, I watched a YouTube tutorial on how to get good. You know, all that good stuff. Like, you know, taking all the advice I've gotten. You know, looking at his attacks and such and whatever. And no, I'm just getting stomped hardcore every fucking time. To like 12 attempts, 15 attempts. And it's like, okay. And I'm like doing negligible damage, like 10% damage, 15%. And I'm like, okay. Let me just take a break. Let me just level up a bit more, get used to some more mechanics. So I went, I defeated another minor boss. There is like, the world is very dense and very big, so, you know, there's still tons to do. And I was like, okay, got a few more levels, went back. He stomped me 5 more times, and I just quit the game. I was like, and I haven't played it since.
Without having played the game, what I would say is probably happening there with that boss is you're gonna have to kind of fatigue it. Usually what happens when you have bosses that you're doing negligible damage to, it's because there's going to be a weak point, and you have to sort of wail on them to the point that they stagger and show it off. I don't know what the boss is, but like seeing if that's kind of like where the health bar is going, that's probably what's happening.
But it's more that he's just like I just can't get to him. Like it's like it's everything. Like with all the other bosses I've faced, it is it's one thing. You know, one of them it was incredibly hard to see what attack they were going to do. Another one, it was just they were very tough and very quick. A third one, you know, it was just he had a mad attack pattern, but once I learned it, I could just face it. For this guy, it's like it's everything. I'm not doing a lot of damage. He's also incredibly fast. He also punishes you, or punishes me for acting in the most natural way I wish to act. So I have to try not to act in that way. Um, like the most damage I did to him was something like 25% in one run, and that wasn't the average. That was like the most I could do, and everyone else is basically saying like for a first proper Souls boss, like a first proper boss in a Souls game, it's apparently pretty hard, but you know, it's not like insane. I mean, everybody else who's playing the game says, yeah, it's harder than I expected a first Souls boss to be, but they've all beaten it except me.
But
I haven't.
I guess it is also worth it noting there that what's also interesting is this. It sounds like there wasn't the instance of like making you reveal your own mortality. Because there is also another trend in these games, and you would have seen it in Sekiro, where there's the boss you're not supposed to beat.
Oh, there is, yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's at the start. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, the one that you win or lose, you lose.
yeah, yeah.
And that's sort of the hard mode thing of, oh, Like I can beat the first boss with my like knuckle duster that I start with.
Yeah, no, yeah, I cracked the lower level gameplay loop, but now I feel like I've hit a brick wall. But
I mean, do you want my actual advice?
I go for it. Yeah.
Either go back and play Dark Souls 1, or alternatively, if you've got money to throw around, which I'm sure you fucking don't,
Yeah.
unironically play Code Vein. I am dead serious when I say that it is like the best introduction I could ask for a Soulsborne series, for a Soulsborne style game.
Okay.
Like for a game not made by FromSoft but made by fucking Bamco, and it's just a lot easier. Like for starters, you've got a permanent companion, and the thing that I find most important to it being a good like first Souls game is the leveling system, which I think I've explained before, where
Please do so again.
basically your class, like your class stats and all that, is really a piece of equipment. So what this does is it basically lets you play any playstyle you want on the same character with like
Okay.
minimal investment, which
Right.
should give you the opportunity to experiment and find out, hey, what works for you. You know, there's a
Hmm.
lot of people who play these games with fucking great axes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I hate them. I don't play with that. And do I want to spend like 60 hours figuring out that's not for me? No.
Of course. Yeah.
So I think that experimentation is invaluable to a novice of this genre.
Yeah. I've put it on my wish list. I will say that like Maurice was very helpful in like explaining mechanics to me because just for context, I think you know this, but you know just in case someone's listening who doesn't, like I'm a proud casual gamer. To me, gaming is shit like gacha and building cities and map painting. Like there was
Also
a map.
Hearthstone, CS:GO, and LoL.
Well, yeah, lol. Lol, I fucking suck at it, isn't it? You know, I just like playing it with Sleepy and folks, you know? Like, yeah, to me, I like games like that. I don't play action games often. Like, unironically, the most similar game I've played to Elden Ring is probably shit like fucking Skyrim or whatever, and they're not similar at all. So, it's you know, because Fox was saying that he hasn't really played Souls games, but he's played like Monster Hunter and games like you know in the same category as Breath of the Wild and stuff like that, and I haven't. Like I don't play stuff like that. So where like because Capri was giving me a little bit of shit, and Maurice just kind of said to him like, listen, like for you, all you have to learn is how does a certain timing differ from Dark Souls? Like, how does this mechanic work slightly different? What's updated? You know, this dude has to learn how to fucking roll. This dude has to learn how to like block and just shit like that, like real basic stuff. Um, and I've always had my shit kicked in immediately in Souls games, and the openness of Elden Ring definitely allowed me to find my footing a bit more and in that very sort of minor gameplay loop of just going into a cave or just going down a route, clearing the cave, seeing a boss that kills me the first time really easy, and learn his attacks and slowly get up to the point to beat him. That this is the first time in sort of a Souls game that's ever clicked for me, and I really enjoyed that, which is why I'm saying like even though I've kind of quit playing for now, I would definitely say I enjoyed that. But um, it's a lot of work for me, and to me, if I'm ever going to beat Elden Ring, it's going to be a huge time investment of just learning shit to me.
Oh,
So
abso-fucking-lutely.
like, because there's
Uh,
people who've put in like 70, 80 hours who haven't even finished. It's like, for me, it's going to take twice as long as it's going to take other people, and you know,
I,
it's
I
yeah, it's
mean, to talk about um like the sheer amount of time investment. I've got 200 hours in Dark Souls 1, 120 hours in Dark Souls 2, 180 hours in Dark Souls 3, and fuck, probably another 100ish in Sekiro. Like, that's 600 hours of experience, and I'd consider myself mildly above average.
mm,
Granted, you
yeah.
don't need to be average to finish the game.
Yeah, like there's definitely plenty of people. So, for example, I'm not, I can't call Fox out because I don't know enough about the game to to know if it's worth calling out or whatever. But from based on other reactions and his own admission, I should say, basically he was saying that he's essentially found a what's the word a cheese strat that allowed him to mow through a lot of things and kind of blitz through quite a bit of the game. And all I have to do is go on YouTube and see like best builds to make this easy and whatever. And it's like I don't want to do that. I also know I could just summon a friend, or just put a summoning thing and somebody will come and beat the boss for me. Like, I know that, but that's not the point, is it? The point is I like using my sword and my shield. I like the timings of it. I've tried with a bunch of other weapons and that's what I liked using. And I want to beat the boss through my own ability, you know? But yeah, it's
I'm, I'm,
going
I'm,
to take a
I'm
lot of
sure those best builds is the same shit that's been around since the first fucking game.
probably. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's a good build, not gonna lie, especially if you're only planning on doing the one playthrough, because it does kind of drop off at the end.
Mm.
I'm assuming it's the same build that's existed since time immemorial, in that you modify the weapons so that they don't scale with your like strength and dexterity, and, and then you basically have this enough strength and dexterity to use the weapon, and then you dump everything else into health.
I can't answer. I don't know.
It's
Um,
it's not, no, it's not the quality build that they called it, but quality's the other way around. But
yeah, I think that's how I play. I think because I've tried searching things like I don't want builds. I know how I want to play, but I've tried just searching up like, can you explain this mechanic to me? Because there's just shit like that I have to learn, and so I think my build is a quality build, which is strength and dex.
yeah,
Um,
and I mean,
yeah.
you don't really need to look up builds, but like if you've got half a fucking brain cell, you can you can basically have this idea of the rough direction you want to go, and usually there's going to be something that exists to accommodate that.
Yeah.
Like I so there's a boss in Dark Souls that I basically like to RP as, which involves putting a bunch of points into dexterity and one of the magic schools,
Mm.
we'll say, and doing that. And even in the games where that boss isn't there, there's usually equipment that accommodates that.
Mm.
So you can kind of just bumble around and be like, oh yeah, this will work with me for now, because everything's gonna roughly work, especially when you can upgrade stuff.
No.
Like nothing's gonna horrendously drop off if you kind of just focus on one idea, and the idea works for you.
Well, I had a thing where for a certain character, um, I wanted to be able to roll faster, and so it meant I couldn't have my starting helmet, and I wanted to put my helmet on. So I kept putting points into endurance, so I could eventually have enough weight to put my helmet on and still like medium roll. And I thought it was just going to be 1 or 2 points of endurance, and I put like 4 points into like 4 level ups into endurance, and I still couldn't equip my helmet, my fucking helmet.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because I mean, when you think about it, to achieve that, each point you put in is basically worth half a point.
yeah, yeah,
Because
um,
oh, you increased your, like, the threshold isn't based on like, oh, you've got 10 points like to spare, that means you're medium rolling. No, it's you're using 50% of what you possibly can.
yeah, yeah. That's the stuff that I was like Maurice and stuff taught me. Maurice was quite strict in that he didn't want to tell me like builds and stuff. He said just discover that stuff for yourself, just try everything. But he would explain things like that. So he explained like the rolling stuff and the fact that strength requirements. If you two hand, you get 50% more strength. Um,
Yeah, explaining how a mechanic works and explaining how to best exploit that mechanic is completely different, and I'd say
yeah,
Maurice is doing a good job in that regard then.
yeah, yeah. So it's like he'll tell me how stuff works and stuff, but I've just got to figure shit out for myself and where to put it. So I'm still kind of just pottering around, really. But yeah, maybe I'm just more open to it because I fucking put like 13 hours into Jump King, so I'm just used. I'm a lot more used to just failing constantly. Maybe that's all that's changed. um, but yeah, that's it really. Like I say, I've defeated some minor bosses, like some big health bars, which I was never able to do in the other Souls games. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, I haven't even beat the first major boss yet. So I'm very early in the game. Um,
Well, I hope it works out well for you.
thank you. Um, but that is unironically pretty much the only thing I have to talk about. Unless you want to get into the weeds of Japanese bureaucratic paperwork.
I
Um,
do.
uh,
That sounds fantastic, because again, I don't remember shit from the past 2 weeks. So all I have to talk about is um yeah, being sick, Risk of Rain 2, and War Thunder.
mm,
That's all that's been going on. I guess I will say on War Thunder, the update was announced today, essentially. Um, that's sort of a big deal because uh, at the moment Ukraine popped off, they kind of stopped their news cycle. Like, yeah, we're gonna
yeah.
take a moment of silence because of all this shit. You know, violence is only supposed to be in video games, etc., etc., etc. Which I did find very brave of them, because like 2 days before um the shit hit the fan, they did start ramping up, like releasing dev blogs of upcoming vehicles in the next update.
Mm,
So that's kind of like, oh, they kind of hinted that a couple of new premiums and the Israeli ground tech tree is coming, and then it was just silence for 2 weeks.
right.
And now we're here 2 weeks later, and they've announced a bunch of long anticipated things.
So
Na- Go on.
Just before you get into it, like, so if I'm not mistaken, Gaijin, are they the one? Because they're very similar to Wargaming, of course. Are they the one that's like Russian, Ukrainian, but based in Cyprus? Or is it the
Yes.
Belarusian one? Okay, okay,
No, Wargaming is the one based in Belarus.
right,
Belarus.
right.
Sorry, there's no K in that. Yeah, yeah, because they have their head office in Minsk. Pretty sure
Mm.
Wargaming does.
Well, you made a long journey from Milan to Minsk.
But
The
what was
update, sorry, the new things added.
yeah. So the shiny new toy that everyone's creaming themselves over is the A10 Warthog is coming to War Thunder,
Hmm.
which I am very much looking forward to shooting down. But yeah, so everyone's creaming themselves, and of course they made a premium version of it so that uh you can just pay to go straight to it.
Yeah, as is tradition.
Yeah. Um, I mean, aside from that, just a bunch of other new stuff. Like again, Israeli ground tech tree. Um, looks interesting. It's missing a few of the vehicles I know that will be coming that I'm interested in.
Israel. Sorry, let me just make a note. Remind me, Israel.
Remembering Israel.
Oh yeah, you've reminded me of something there. Thank you.
Oh, I'm curious.
Well, no, you finish. Let's not get on a
Oh,
tangent on a tangent.
oh no, that's what this podcast is about.
Oh,
Ten.
I discovered a channel called Dovahati.
Oh yes.
Um,
I
uh,
I remember you finding this like 2 years after everyone else.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I said to Sky like, oh yes, I was talking to Sleepy, and Sleepy said that you like Dovahati. I should say that I watched Dovahati, and he's like, yeah, it only fucking took me and Moon 2 years of shilling for you to finally watch it. Um, so yeah. The mad thing is though, it's not like I even watched Dovahati at first. It was some other cunt, like Melfius or whatever. Basically, like as far as I understand, like an off-brand Dovahati came up, and all the comments in his video were about Dovahati, so I put him in, and I binge watched all of his shit, and yes, and on the episode of the Five Good Emperors is why Israel reminded me of that.
The Hadrian moment is
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. I've actually already seen that in Paul threads, just as a clip on its own. I didn't realize it was from something. Um, but yeah. The Hadrian clip, the Aurelian. Oh, um,
It's it's funny in the sense that everyone's becoming a ripoff of a ripoff of a ripoff because he recently did a review of Morrowind. You might have seen that one,
yeah.
which
I'm
is
watching them in like chronological order, so I know there's like an unbiased review or history of Israel. Whatever. I'm on the Byzantines now, so there's still a few videos to go.
but the thing about the Morrowind one is he did it as a basic review of the game, and it's very reminiscent of Seth's style,
Oh. Right.
which I'm kind of disappointed in. I have no problem with doing videos on Morrowind. I would have preferred if he did it not
His
as a
own
review of
style.
the game, but as a review of the lore.
Oh, right, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like imagine if he did like a review of the Empire of Cyrodiil, like the Roman ones that you're watching now.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I would have liked
Yes.
him to see if he delved into fiction.
Yeah. I want Piper Septum as a Giga Chad now. Um yeah.
But no. Um so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things go forward with him now. I know he did have a. He's kind of bumbling around after he realized, oh, I, it's gonna be really fucking hard to talk about the Muslims. That's oh, I mean, I'll say it now. The Arab Spring is where um the unbiased history of like Byzantium ends.
With the Arab Spring?
The rise of Islam.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the history kind of ends at around that point.
Wait, like
But
Constantinople falling?
no,
Or
like
yeah, I was gonna.
1700s, like when like the what is it? Is it Umayyads? I think it's them. The first like Arab empire.
Yeah, like 800s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that when Byzantium ends? Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's when
thought it'd go
well,
all the
that's
way
when
up
the
to.
series ends. Yeah, the Umayyad Caliphate.
Oh,
It ends
oh.
just before that
I mean,
because
admittedly, I was kind of
he's
wondering why there were only 4 videos, but
yeah, because it kind of gets in there. It's like, fuck, how do I talk about this without getting horrendously demonetized?
yes.
Yeah, so like the 500s to 600s, the rise of Muhammad.
Mm. What about
Fuck.
the 6 hour one?
I think that was him in a live stream, basically outlining something. I haven't watched that actually.
It would take me a lot to watch. I think I've only watched one YouTube video of like that length. It's like 7 hours or something.
I mean, depends what we consider watching. You know, I've listened to the Trollolol 10 hours version.
Giga chat. um, but yeah, I should say it has inspired me to Dovahkiin sort of reawoke the Roma boo in me. You know, that the classic men only have two personality types. Either they like Rome or they like World War Two. Um, like
Me
I'm
is the Cold War Chad.
um I am blessed with institutional access um to high level literature that would be very expensive if one were to purchase it privately. But because I'm at a university, I can just get it for free and download it.
Dude's ringing up fucking Gary Brennan and going to the archives.
Oh, I must say, if one has to imagine like somebody, wait, he did. Where is it that Gary works again? Um,
The I think it's I think it's Leeds.
National Archive.
It's some kind of archive, and I'm pretty sure it's either it's in the county of Yorkshire, and it's either, and I'm pretty sure it's in Leeds.
Okay, there's a military museum in Leeds, right? Uh,
Yeah, there's an aircraft museum I actually kind of want to go to because they have a Mirage 4, which
oh yeah,
is
that's the French one. Yeah, we talked.
yeah
Yeah, we
the
talked about that.
and I'm pretty sure it's the only one that's not in France.
Yeah. Oh yes, he has a very museum archive appearance, one must say. But yeah, it's so I have downloaded um thousands of pounds worth of classical history books. It's great. I'm gonna have a lot of reading material over the summer. Um, I think I've got like 8,000 pages now of Cambridge ancient history, and I did check up, and technically I'm not breaking any rules doing this. Technically,
Well, by
um,
uploading them to me.
That would be heavily illegal.
Meet Gary Brennan as Keeper of the Archives and Special Collections at the Borthwick Institute for Archives at the University of York. That's where he is.
What's the Borthwick Institute?
It's the Institute of Borthwick.
Borthwick wait, is it like spelled like Bathwick?
Borth Wick.
Nope, I'm not looking for Borthwick heating and insulation. That's for sure. Borthwick. Oh, Borthwick Institute for Archives. Oh, it's just an archive repository. Okay.
Yes, and Gary Brennan works there.
Like I said, he very much does look like an archivist. But yeah, I have it's yeah, as long as I don't share it, and I once my period of study finishes, I have to delete them, of course. I cannot keep them after that.
It'd be a shame if someone broke into your house one day and just stole your hard drives. Damn shame.
It would be a big shame if they were very conveniently stored on an external drive. That would be very easy to grab. That would be a huge shame.
Just bloody tragic. Bloody
terrible. But no,
nasty bit of business that.
But I had to limit myself because I did get a warning from the thing saying, note you are getting close to the 500 PDF per hour limit that one can download. So I've had to cool off a bit. Because now I am feeling like I have the ultimate repository of information that I can just have. And like I was thinking, hey, it's for free, and it's like, wait, no, it's not for free. I'm paying a ridiculous amount in tuition. Like, this is what I'm paying for, so it's not free.
Is this the moment where you like you become one of those perpetual scholars? You know, the moment you finish your degree, you're just gonna start another one just so you can like keep up and get into unfathomable debt that you're never gonna pay off.
Yes. Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. I mean, I won't lie in that like a career in academia is not something that I'm immediately hate the idea of.
Yeah, I mean, if I could be Gary Brennan, I fucking would.
Well, like research and stuff. The problem is it's just incredibly hard to get funding. Like, I can't remember if I said this on the podcast, but because of how like Durham grants work, there's a bunch of people unironically considering writing their like modern language dissertations and getting funding to write them in Latin and see if they can learn Latin in a few years, because the Classics Institute will give them funding, but the history and culture departments won't. I'm not saying that's feasible. I don't think they'll actually be allowed, but theoretically, it's possible. Like it's securing that funding that's so hard. But yeah, I really like, writing.
Point of view: you are head of accounts at Durham University, and you have to deal with a 15 student today who wants to get a grant to research Rome or World War II.
Well, no, well, on the writing, it was like it could be about anything. Oh, this funding is just so that it can be published in a Latin journal in Latin. That's it. So it doesn't have to be about anything to do with Rome. Like, you want to do Japanese political history, go for it.
In Rome.
Yeah, as long as you write it in Latin, theoretically, it's available for funding. Of course, then it's like a bunch of fucking 21-year-olds who are like, wait, can I learn Latin? Just being up the chats being like, how hard is it to learn Latin in a year or two? Like, to this level.
I'll be honest, I wonder if you can go the other way around. If you can, like, surely there's got to be like another like cultural preservation fund where you can get money for like writing this shit in like Gaelic or Welsh.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm at a university with
Screwed,
a
screwed.
classics department, not a Gaelic department. So
Man,
that's what.
yeah. Well, I think the answer there is fuck Durham. Let's go to the University of Cardiff. I'm assuming there's a university in Cardiff. It's the only place in
Yes,
Wales
yeah.
I know.
Swansea. I think Swansea's bigger actually. I think Swansea's the very prestigious university. Prestigious. No, I shouldn't be an elitist. Um. Uh. Yeah.
Where were we going with this? All right. Israel's
I-
getting added to a video
uh,
game.
um. Yeah. Sorry. Just to quickly finish my thing. Yeah. I am now. Like a fat kid in a candy store. You know. Hell, no. I'm like me in a candy store. You know. Like there's so much around, and I'm now seriously like I can just have everything. Like, because I'm gonna be a year in Japan, and the the American education system, which is what the Japanese one is based on, is very textbook focused. From my understanding of what we'll be learning, so I mean, I can explain it, but it's we're getting hold on, we're getting into tangents on tangents on tangents. You don't mind, do you?
No, I mean, do we really want to talk about War Thunder?
Okay, I will do my civic duty and keep this up. All right, so it's basically in classes here. I can't speak for STEM or whatever, but in humanities classes here, when we do a class, we don't have textbooks. We have, you have survey books. So because I've been looking at the ancient history one, I'll just say them. So survey books would be like the Cambridge History of Rome. 1,000-page volume. There's like 10 volumes of it, but 1,000-page volume that covers a period of about 100 years. 500 pages on sort of the historical, political great man narrative. 500 pages on life in that time, developments in technology, developments in sociology, things like that. I have equivalents for Japanese modern history. They're not textbooks; they're survey books with full citations. It's like a step up from Wikipedia. It's kind of it's encyclopedic, but there is a coherent narrative and there's far more contextual information. So it's like the next level down, but it still primarily cites other more specific, works.
Yeah.
And from there you get specific things like a researched biography of Seneca, that's like 400 pages academically cited, and then you get translations from certain documents. The way it was described to me in sort of the second year, like my current year of like, are you thinking about pursuing an academic career, is if somebody was like really fascinated and wanted to do a master's degree in the Japanese tea ceremony in Buddhist institutions in 1680s to 1700s. They spend 2 to 3 years of their life researching that, primary sources, translations. They write a huge monograph. That's published in a journal. Some cunt sees that, puts a few paragraphs in his handbook on Japanese Buddhism. And he says, in, 1800s, the tea ceremony began to be used, Hewitt says in this context and whatever. And that's published, and then a survey book guy will read that and goes, and it's reduced to just a sentence in 1680 to 1700, the tea ceremony began to be used in Buddhist temples. And that person's 3 years of work is just distilled down to that. So, like, the problem, I would love to just research. I enjoy writing my essays and really delving into something, but I just haven't found anything that I could really devote 3 to 5 to 10 years of my life on something that kind of niche, because all the general information has been found already. All the easy information you can just pick up off the road has been written down. You gotta dig, you gotta chisel, and really niche things like that, is there's just nothing I found so far, and it's just so competitive.
This reminds me of a tangent.
Ah, yes.
Oh, no, it's one of those funny things about the end of the world and all that, where there's this idea that if we were to fuck up now, like as humanity, there's basically zero chance of us like getting back from the Stone Age. Not for the next several million or billion years.
Mm-hmm.
Based purely on the fact that every single simple resource that could kickstart civilization has been harvested.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so in all the materials to like go up the ladder are now like cart before the horse and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want copper, you have to dig like 3 kilometers down.
Yeah.
You're not having a second Bronze Age.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but no, yeah, you're absolutely right there. Like, yeah, all the easy stuff's gone. Um, for, um,
So yeah, don't fuck up.
but yes, that being said, I have no idea if I have the stones to make it. But in terms of harvesting information, I've got my general stuff, and it's like fuck it, I should probably just try and take advantage and just try and get everything that I might be interested in, because try and buy academic. Oh fuck! I'm on my tangent. On my tangent. On my tangent. The reason I was bringing this up is in the UK, that's what we do. Like that's the books that are set. Very specific books and survey books. In American humanities and liberal arts sectors, often a professor will write a textbook for that class. The textbook you have to buy, or maybe you'll be given, and the textbook is specifically crafted for that curriculum. In Japan, that's the system. That's basically what seems to be used. So people will just be using their own direct sources. The professors and the teachers. So even though I'm going to have way more hours of work, I'll probably have a lot less reading material. It'll just be like primary textbooks. So I am looking for things just to cover my brain. Cover my brain. What the fuck does that even mean? Things to occupy myself, and to learn more things. And I do enjoy having a far more robust knowledge of, not authoritative at all. There's still so much for me to learn, and so many gaps in my knowledge. But I do like having more specific knowledge. And fuck, I would love to have more specific knowledge on things that interest me, like Rome, for example. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Just I'm in the habit of reading a lot already. I may as well just try and keep it up.
Yeah, it's a good habit to get into.
Hmm. Okay,
Good
I
shit.
must now bow and allow the War Thunder chant to take over.
Oh, nothing. I mean, just Israel's getting added.
Nice.
Well, the Israel ground forces, the Air Force has been in for the past few months.
Are they all like American planes, or do they make their
Oh
own?
no. It's actually very French influenced.
Honey, it's Friday. Time for Moon to talk about the French military again.
It's almost like this newly formed nation was incredibly embargoed, except for that one country that just does not give a fuck.
Does France not give a fuck?
No, they'll fucking sell arms to anyone.
Based.
Um, yeah, no, the Air Forces hit. Well, I mean, fuck, we can just look at it. Do I want to boot up War Thunder? No, but yeah, a lot of the early jets were like sold to them by France, all the way up till like the Mirage back in the 60s during the fucking 6 Day War. And then from there, it's a lot of like domestic modifications. Like there's some French like transonic jet that they had that they realized, damn, this engine's actually kind of shit, and they stuck in some American ones because they had American ones lying around from the occasional things that the Americans also sold them. Because there is American stuff in there as well. But no, I'd say that the ground forces for them is very much influenced by everyone. The first vehicle you're going to get is the M51 Super Sherman, which you know the Sherman.
Yes.
You know the infamous 105 millimeter gun.
What, the jumbo? Is that the jumbo one?
No, that's
Mm.
the 105 millimeter gun that's on things like the Leopards, the late Centurions.
Oh, like the Lorraine
No,
gun. No,
no,
not the Lorraine.
that's a 100 millimeter. Um,
No, no, no.
things on like the Leopards, the
The
late Centurions.
Revoluise, like that one. Revoluise.
I don't know the fuck you're talking about. This is like the L7, the British gun, the one that NATO basically standardized on for 20 years. I didn't think it would be hard to explain the L7 to you, but apparently I do. Anyway, they basically stuck one of those on a Sherman.
Yeah, hold on, I've got a screenshot of the M4A1 Revoluise. Just to help me visualize it. So like something like this, like just a far bigger gun on a Sherman.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what I mean.
Yeah, so that's the first vehicle that you get. There's also a premium version that uses one of the later Sherman hulls, but whatever. And then it's just a weird mix of literally everything. Because they literally took anything and everything they could. If you've there is a
Sorry. Very curious.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I fear I don't think I can elaborate on why I'm laughing.
All right.
But
Well,
yes, Israel taking everything they can.
Oh, oh. But yeah, like there's a bunch of Centurions with homebrew modifications. There's a bunch of Patterns, like American tanks with modifications.
I know what Patterns are. Yeah.
They added the Tehran 4S, which is a T-54 with the previously mentioned L7 gun chucked in it, which I'm interested to see. And more, the one that isn't announced that I want to see is the Tehran 5S, which is a T-55 with that gun. I think they also announced a Tehran 6, which I'm assuming is a T-62.
How do you spell Tehran?
Tiran.
Okay, yeah. I vaguely thought you were saying like Tehran. I was like, why would they name a bank after Tehran? But...
No. But yeah, so there's a lot of that, and then obviously later on you get the Macabres, for which everyone is very excited to see. So all in all, it looks like a decent tree for like where it is. I don't know if I'm going to start grinding it out immediately, especially since they kind of go they do the tech trees in a sort of like early access aspect where you can buy one of the premiums and get access to the tech tree, or there's this sort of like road to access where you do like certain tasks for 10 days and you get these badges, and then the badges let you start the tech tree, which I don't give a shit about. I can wait.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I know World of Tanks has a not dissimilar system, but I feel like I've successfully purged World of Tanks from my memory, so I cannot talk about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, aside from that, I've been having a good time recently in War Thunder.
That's good. Having fun is always good.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that a lot of these tasks daily tasks I've been doing have been interesting. I especially love the anti-aircraft ones because there's this task I get every now and then where I've got to destroy things in an anti-air gun, and it turns out I have a pretty disgusting French anti-air gun that kills tanks. That's a lot of fun.
Please stop saying the word task, please.
Task.
My Amogus adult brain can only take so much.
Oh, see, I am so far removed from Amogus. I did not make the association.
I'm fully retarded. I'm fully gone. There's no hope. Fucking being sit down in a fucking pew, and every time I hear Jesus Christ is among us, I can't.
Have you actually played Among Us?
When it came out, I played like 2 games, and I was stuck with retarded fucking Brazilians, and they made me hate it, and I left. Everyone was just speaking Spanish, Portuguese, and who wants that? Like,
It's funny because I know that my ex is playing. Like, I'll occasionally see on Steam that they're playing Among Us all the fucking time.
but right, yeah.
For those not in the know, my ex is from Brazil.
Yeah, it's all like that. So, but I did watch. I was a fan of back in my Hearthstone days. I liked Disguised Toast, and I was technically like still subscribed to him. So he was one of the. He's now in like what's it called offline TV, and so he was a big. He was one of the 300 Amogus play, and then next day the 400 IQ Amogus play. Next day, you won't believe this 500 outplay, 500 IQ outplay. He was one of those guys, so I watched them. I kind of liked it, and then but like watching it, kind of like watching people play Town of Salem or something, and then proceeded to forget about it for a few months until it became a meme. And that fried my brain, so yeah.
I see.
Well, I've got nothing else. Anything else with you?
I learned how to do macro recording.
What's
That
that?
was fun.
Oh, like keybind macros.
Sort of. Uh, Basically, I've technically been playing a shitload of Bloons Tower Defense 6 in the past week or so, but not really. But for those who do not know, in Bloons Tower Defense 6, you gain experience by playing the game, and this experience grants you levels, and when you gain levels, you get what they call monkey knowledge, and you can spend monkey knowledge on perks.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of playing to get all of them. So rather than actually playing the game, I've been running a screen macro for like 16 hours a day while I'm sleeping and at work, playing the same map of fucking Bloons Tower Defense 6.
Well, just like getting up to level 80 and then.
Oh, I'm on like a level 120 something now.
No. Sorry, I mean like a wave 80.
Oh,
I can't
no.
remember where hard mode stops.
No. So the way that you go about it, the super efficient idle method.
No, yes, please tell me.
You play the expert maps, but you play it on easy deflation mode. And what
It's deflation mode again.
Deflation mode is you start with $20,000 and you can't gain any more money, but you start on wave 30 and you have to make it to wave 60.
Do monkey farms still work?
No.
Okay.
So the correct answer is you make an elite defender sniper with a monkey tower and an alchemist, and it clears the entire game. It clears all 30 waves. And it does that in about 6 minutes. So I've had this fucking screen recorder going for like, 16 hours a day. Earning something like 600,000 XP an hour, which there's like 2 levels at this point because, drop off.
Yeah.
It's the funny thing about the recorder though is I'm on this free trial and they're like, oh, you cannot like repeat the same loop more than 10 times. I was like, okay.
Oh, tell me you just made a macro to repeat the loop. Tell me.
No, I just like so I like this like the list of things is like open like change to this window, click this location on the screen, this location on the screen, this and this. And then I just copied that until the loop runs for about an hour.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Because the loop itself is really like again 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
It finishes the match, and if I didn't do this, it would only play 10 times, which is an hour. Tips. So I just like copied and pasted the entire like cycle, so that the cycle is however the fuck many cycles, like 10 cycles.
Mm.
So now it runs for like 10 hours, which is enough time for me to like wake up, click it again, and then fuck off to work.
Then I can come back, click it again, kind of.
No,
Well,
click
it before
click it off, and then do things I actually want to do.
Mm.
The issue is now at this point though, it's like really useless shit. Like I have all the good perks that you start with a free monkey, or you start with $200 extra, or the perks for the monkeys I actually use. Now it's just like mundane shit that's never gonna happen.
I must say I've loved balloons since playing the Flash version of 3 at school. Been a big fan, have all the games. But the problem I always had was double money mode. Like, when you get double money mode, or if you get double money mode, it just trivializes quite a bit of the game, but I never not want to use it because I have it.
But like you don't need it. Game's easy.
No, I know. I know.
You put monkey and like monkey go pop. I will also say that this recent surge has also entirely been inspired by Seth doing a review of Bloons Tower Defense 6.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to explain that, mate. I knew. Oh yeah. It's always good to see the Bloons games. People just assume they're shit, and they're not shit.
No, there is an autistic level of maths involved. Especially with the end game monkeys.
Oh god, you weren't joking. I've just clicked on it. 141.4 hours played recently. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Except, not really.
I know, but yeah. I was like, holy shit, you have been leaving it on. Like...
Yeah, and if you look at my stats, like the number of games played is like tripled. But the math involved in like the end game units is extremely fucking autistic. Like there's the true sun god and the paragon units.
Okay, I'll be until Seth's video on it. I bow to public pressure there. In my head, it's always Seth. That's how I should say it. In Seth's video, I had no idea about True Sun God or Paragon units. I was like, it blew my fucking mind. I was like, what the fuck are these?
Yeah, like... I mean, to be fair, they were added fairly recently. I'd say within maybe the past 6 months.
Oh, okay.
to the
Okay.
past year. So
I was thinking like,
okay, well the true Sun God is not that new, but the Paragon units are. For those not in the know, Paragon units is these.
hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I disconnected my mic cable. Okay,
Oh,
carry on.
but that they are essentially fusion towers made by like creating the strongest 3 units of a certain type, and they consume everything. Um, but the mind-boggling part beyond that is it's not just that you create this really powerful unit, but there's tiers to this very powerful unit, and it's based purely on how much shit you sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the most I've ever seen personally in my own games is like a tier 50 something, a degree 50 boat, because I find the boats incredibly easy to make.
No, yeah, boats.
Because
I love the boats.
yeah, because the boat makes money. That's why the
Yeah,
boat's great.
based pirates. Yeah.
Yeah, you put down your boats and you play the map, and then you start building just money making boats, and then you sell them all to make this other big fucking boat.
Hmm.
It's great. But yeah, the math involved in them is pretty fucking crazy, because it's based on like how much you sacrifice and how much that what you've sacrificed has done.
Well,
I
like how many
think
balloons have popped?
yeah. So it's not like you can't just say give yourself, like let's say you cheated, gave yourself infinite money and you're on round 1.
Yeah.
It if you put like cover the entire screen in the specific monkey that you want to fuse, you won't reach the highest tier, because there's simply just it doesn't reach enough of the qualifications to hit the highest tier of what they call a paragon,
Hmm.
because the monkeys also then have to do something. Like they have
Yeah.
like what you have to sacrifice has to be worth more than $200,000, excluding the top 3 monkeys that you have to fuse, and it has to have accumulated, I think, like $1 million itself. Like everything sacrificed, excluding those 3, has to have sacrificed at least made at least $1 million.
Hmm.
It's it's a bit crazy, and apparently, like it's straight up impossible to reach the highest ones outside of like co-op.
Hmm.
So the more you know.
Indeed, indeed. Um. So what about the other one? What's the True Sun God?
No, the true sun god is older, but it sacrifices everything in it. If I remember rightly, it's you need to it needs to have it sacrifices everything within its radius, and it has a pretty sizable radius. So what you need inside its radius to be sacrificed to it is like $50,000 of each school of monkey. So like you've got to sacrifice a very expensive military monkey, a very expensive magic, a
Right,
very
right.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
So like you stick an airfield, a bank, and a fucking grand wizard, and some other primary monkey that's really expensive. And that's
Hmm.
apparently how you reach like the highest tier of True Sun God. And then, although there's even a more autistic version of that, where if you put the right perks and you unlock the Vengeful True Sun God, which has its own like qualifications on top of that. I think it needs to be built on the fucking bionic monkey or something. I don't know. I haven't made it. But yeah, a lot of TISM involved, and to be honest, for like 90% of what you do in the game, you're not going to use it.
And it's all like Omega Brain stuff.
Mm-mm. And aside from that, then there's also the whole like fucking autism of uh fucking optimization in general, especially when it comes to like the farms.
I just build a lot of them forehead.
But it's not efficient.
And I just build the one that doesn't makes me so I don't have to hover my mouse over them, and then build the bank one that buffs them all.
Yeah, the answer is you take Benjamin as your hero and then you build banks. And then you put
Yeah,
money
yeah.
into them and then you take money out and then you wait like a very specific amount of terms for the optimal returns and then you get IMF loan and you stop giving a shit.
I never really used heroes. I just
They're pretty good.
mm,
The side effect of this is also like I earn like 60 monkey money every round I finish, so I have like 30,000 monkey money, and I brought every single hero, and I still have money
oh
left
yeah,
over.
yeah. Yeah, I was like thinking about what he. I was like, I don't use any, but I only have like 2 or 3 heroes. Because yes, they cost monkey money.
I mean,
Fucking
there's a few that's like I'd say like the most worthwhile ones to get is always going to be Benjamin and like maybe a Dora of the
I
ones that you
got
just don't start with.
I got Guy in tank because he looked cool.
Yeah, I mean I have the gun tank as well. I have all of them, but I had Guy and Tank before I started cheating, except not really cheating.
Oh, speaking of, um, I can't remember if you did. I was trying to look for it and I couldn't find it. But a new Battle Brothers DLC dropped. So
I don't know. I don't know if it's dropped. I know they've announced it.
no, it's out. Yeah, it came out today. Yeah,
Oh no, I haven't played it yet.
yeah. So could you drop me the mod thing so I can play and enjoy it. Um,
I mean it's just on Nexus.
I don't use. All right, fine. I'll try and find it myself.
It,
Oh,
it's like the top 5 mods for Nexus is just like yeah, a hero editor or a brother editor.
oh, Blizz Nexus. Uh, wait, which what?
Mhm.
Okay, not new this week. What popular all time? That one?
Probably. If I go, hang on. Actually, if I just open Vortex because it's
Oh, bro,
easiest.
editor, Predator.
I mean, there's a few of them. One didn't work for me, so I used the other one. But hang on. If I go to
No, shall we call it here so people don't have to listen to us?
it's either Ultra. Yeah, I think it's Predator. This is the one I used.
All right.
If I actually go to Opus and open on yeah, Predator is the one I used.
And is it just like an in-game editor thing?
Yeah, you turn it on, you press Shift X, and then you can just click on things.
Based. Thank you very much.
Again, the only issue I have with it is that they give you this like add like give yourself items things, but they only give you legendary items. You know,
Oh
like
yeah, you were saying it last time. Yeah, so you can't
yeah,
just like
I can't
transform.
just give myself like basic bitch leather armor and a sword. It has to
Mm,
be like the sword of the gods,
mm.
which has and that's kind of made my like this cultist playthrough that I've been cheating through not interesting because
Because you can't just give yourself cultist gear.
yeah, and you can't even buy it. That's the other thing. the only way to get cultist armor, cultist leather hoods, and cultist leather robes is either the cultist comes with it, you kill cultists, or every 20 days at least, you have an event where if you have a cultist in your party and a unused like leather piece of outfit, like there's a few that qualify. If you have one of those in your inventory, it will the cultist will consume it and turn it into a cultist robe or cultist hood. So it's literally me just running around waiting for that to happen, so that
So
I
you
can
guys
have
can have the drip.
yeah, so everyone can be in the same outfit rather than this ragtag of some people fully dressed up, some people with hats, and some people with like sacks.
Mm.
I'm also waiting for the end game cultist like ultimate outfit, which apparently only happens after a year, where there's this grand sacrifice and it turns it into a legendary cultist outfit, which is like kind of OP.
Og. But you. Oh, it's like a random thing.
Yeah, it's literally just waiting for random events.
Right.
Aside from that, I've just been like farming achievements, which I feel kind of bad for. Like this is one of those instances where I would have preferred if achievements were disabled for having a mod on, but it wasn't.
The fuck 'em.
Yeah. So, I've killed like most of the great things. I've already finished. Like, oh, finish this end game event or finish this great quest. The only ones that I kind of have left to complete are almost like DLC achievements. You know, like kill an enemy with this weapon, and I just don't pick it up because I'm running
Nah.
around with these cultists
Yeah.
that just stab people. Like using the cannons and using the grenades. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've put in my fucking time playing legit and getting stomped on, and like ripped the amount of times fucking Sleepy's died in my runs.
Yeah.
Like, but I've never I've like reached one, or I can't even remember if I even maybe I've reached the start of an in-game crisis or something like that, like once. Like fuck yeah, I just want to experience a lot of that, like more end game stuff and uh
Yeah,
yeah.
the first I got in that regard, like legit playthrough, was I heard that there was a noble war going on,
Yeah, same, yeah.
and then the run basically ended like 20 days later.
Mm.
But that was also because that was one of my trading caravan runs where I was basically ignoring most of the world and just like running from this, like doing spice trade runs just because I found that fun.
Ego based.
But
Unironically.
that earns you like fuck all reputation. So
Yeah. I always like going lone wolf and like building a team from scratch. But I'd invariably just get stuck with peasants and die in like day 30.
well, the fun thing you can do with this mod is you can even edit the stats that you really shouldn't be able to edit. So you can pick lone wolf and give yourself like 900 action points and 900 fatigue, and just turn one, walk up to people and stab them.
Yeah, that does sound. Man,
It's slightly OP, and I've kind
slightly.
of it's slightly OP, and I've kind of been using it in this cultist thing, especially since I've gimped myself with the armor. Is like
Mm.
once you start reaching those levels beyond where you're like getting perks, I've been kind of just adding like free stamina and free action points.
Mm. Oh yeah, because there's a level cap, isn't there?
It's a soft cap after some of the DLCs. I'm pretty sure, where you
This is how much I know. I barely fucking know about.
like you keep leveling, but you stop getting perk points. You stop getting. It stops your like level up modifiers. So
Right.
it doesn't matter like, oh, if you have 3 stars in your health, like you still get 1 point for every like time you click on it.
Right.
Yeah, Battle Brothers, fun game, new DLC out. Pretty sure it's free as well.
It is, yeah, it's free. I just downloaded it
Um,
now.
I guess I'm interested in it because it comes with a couple of new origins, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I don't get too much about the Anatomist, but the Oath ones, I look to see right at my straws.
Yeah, so I'll look into it, but I'm like playing a lot of games at the moment.
Yeah.
Also, I have the overwhelming urge to shit right now.
I'm really hungry. I want to get some food. Yeah. So
Thanks for coming, everyone.
yeah. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.